Shalom. Before I get started, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Rakakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule and teach well. And also peace and safety to the Akim that spread across the four corners of the world. Is pushing out this truth with all diligence and putting their lives on the line to do so. I'm the brother Karas out here at Great Millstone, Atlanta. Here with the lesson going into the importance of charity. Which was always big, in our, culture and heritage, was to be charitable to one another, and now that the Lord, is bringing us back into that mindset, it's important that we uphold that, with, each other, especially, with us being, in captivity, under our enemies, mainly the so-called white man, Esau, Edom. All right, but it's important that we be charitable to one another, because like the scriptures say, which I have pulled up, charity covers the multitudes of sins. All right, so I'm gonna start off in 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 7. And it says, "But the end of all things is at hand. Be ye therefore sober and watch unto prayer." Yeah, like the scripture says, in 1 Peter 5 and 8, it tells us to be sober and vigilant, for your adversary, the devil, walketh about as a roaring lion seeking whom he may devour. So it's important for us to be, sober and pray, until Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai for protection, over us, and our families, for guidance, for stability, understanding, so on and so forth, because the days are at hand. What days are at hand? The end of days, the end of Esau's rulership. All right, but this is the point in verse 8. It says, "And above all things have fervent charity among yourselves, for charity shall cover the multitude of sins." All right, now let's get that word charity here. It's G26. It's agape. It says affection, goodwill, love, benevolence, brotherly love. You see, so affection. Charity isn't always just money, or material things. Act of charity could be a conversation with a brother, that's going through hard times. Got a lot going on. He may lose a job, or may lose his family. He just needs the ear. The vent. So that's an act of charity as well. All right, and the scriptures speak about our righteousness being as filthy rags. So, charity can cover up, or help replace the sins that we commit on a daily basis. All right. And that's why here, at Great Millstone, we push, the precept of being of having brotherly love and fellowshipping, getting up amongst men, because you really, when you're doing that, you're really covering your own self. It's verse 9. It says, "Use hospitality one to another without grudging." You see, another word for charity is hospitality, and it says without grudging. All right, so it's even a way that that you're supposed to, be charitable, it says without grudging, Let's get that word grudging here. All right, it's G 11:12, and it says a murmuring, a muttering, a secret debate A secret displeasure not openly avowed. You see? So what is grudging, man? You're murmuring. You may, do an act of charity, but then, it's like you really didn't want to do it. You may talk shit. Are you looking for something on the back end? Behind it, that doesn't count. You're not supposed to do something, especially for a brother, and you looking for something in return. You're just supposed to do it out of the kindness and the love that you have for the Akim. It's verse 10. It says, as every man hath received the gift, even so minister the same one to another, as good stewards of the manifold grace of the Most High. You see, so just like the Lord, matter of fact, let me get that. The parable of the talent. Let's see. This is Matthew chapter 25. I'm gonna go straight to the point. Let's start at verse 22. It says, he also that had received 2 talents came and said, Lord, thou deliverest unto me 2 talents. Behold, I have gained 2 other talents beside them. You see, so if the Lord came and blessed you with 2 talents, and you've gained 2, more talents, that's really an act of charity. Because you're adding into what, the Lord gave unto you, man. We're supposed to add onto this truth. It's verse 23. His Lord said unto him, well done, good and faithful servant. So the Lord was pleased, that he added, to the talents, that the Lord gave unto him, man. It says he called him a faithful servant. Thou good and faithful servant. All right, it says, thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make thee ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of thy Lord. Then he which had received the 1 talent came and said, Lord, I knew thee that thou art an hard man, reaping where thou hast not sown, and gathering where thou hast not strawed. And I was afraid, and went and hid thy talent in the earth. Lo, there thou has that is thine. His Lord answered and said unto him, thou wicked and slothful servant. You see, so from hiding your talent in a napkin, the Lord, look at you as wicked. All right. We're not supposed to take what the Lord gave unto us and store it, for ourselves, man. Even doing our videos and going out to the highways and byways on videos, is an act of being a servant, adding toward, your the talents that the Lord gave unto you, man. And if you don't do those things, the Lord look at you as wicked, man, and slothful. Scripture speaks a lot on being slothful. Another word for slothful is lazy. All right. It says, thou wicked and slothful servant, thou knewest that I reap where I sowed not, and gather where I have not strawed. Thou oughtest therefore to have put my money to the exchangers. See, so the Lord said, you knew, that, I reap where I sowed not, and gathered where I strawed. but you still didn't add toward the talent, the one talent that I gave unto you. You know, and you knew that I was a hard and austere man. You know, it says thou art. Oh, I read that. It says, and then at my coming I should have received mine own usury. Take therefore the talent from him and give it to him which hath 10 talents. So the Lord is basically going to strip you of the talent that he gave you and give it to someone else. You know, because they'll be more profitable with the talent than you. You know, and this goes all into charity. You know, because you know the Lord has blessed certain men with things such as certain resources, or just a way of words. It could be a way of words, or how you speak and resonate with a brother who's in need of help, and you're being selfish. So the Lord to take it from you and give it into someone else, man. It says for verse 29, for to everyone that hath shall be given, and he shall have abundance. But from him that have not shall be taken away even that which he have. And cast ye the unprofitable servant into outer darkness. There should be weeping and gnashing of teeth. So the Lord's going to cast you out, man, for being slothful. This truth is different. It's levels to it, man. It's not one thing, that you can be good at, and you just let everything else slack. No, it's levels to it, man. And charity, is one of those things. All right. I'm gonna grab one more precept and I'm gonna close out. Kind of ran out of time. Where was it? Yep, it's 1 Corinthians chapter 14 and verse 1. It says, follow after charity and desire spiritual gift, but rather that ye may prophesy. You see? So charity is very big in our, in our culture, like I mentioned before. And it's up to us, to uphold that. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and close up by giving all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rakakodash, that will learn this to the apostles and elders, the great millstone. And until next time, shalom.